happening now. Ladies and gentlemen, you already know this. Farmers are in protest mode once again. It has been a day of high drama at the Punjab-Haryana border. The tremors have been felt in the national capital with blockades and travel restrictions at its borders. There are 15,000 booths on the ground as we speak. At the Shambhu border, barricades have been broken, stones have been pelted, and tear gas has been fired via drones. This was the setting of a massive showdown between the state of Haryana and the farmers. Let's take you through the pictures. Chaos unfolded in the national capital as the farmers began their Delhi Chalo march. This after their late-night talks with the central government failed. Farmers tried to breach the barricades that were placed near the Shambhu border. They couldn't succeed, but those are the farmers there, at least giving it a good shot. In fact, protests took an ugly turn with farmers tossing barricades from top of a flyover and vandalizing the safety barriers alongside the flyover. These are precautionary measures that were put in place by the Haryana Police. The Haryana Police was very clear. They had issued orders saying that anyone who vandalizes public property will have to pay for it. The farmers were aware of that advisory that was put out, actually that warning that was put out, and yet we are seeing the pictures that we are seeing on our screens. This is again coming from Shambhu border, which is the border of Haryana and Punjab, where we saw the maximum amount of drama take place. So that's the other set of pictures that came to us today. And then there were farmers who were forcibly removing concrete barricades put out by the state administration, that is the administration of Haryana. Security forces in response resorted to using water cannons to disperse these protesting farmers. Those pictures on your screens as well. They say we had no choice. There was a law and order situation at hand. The farmers had to be stopped, and therefore these pictures. In fact, marching farmers, and let's put out those pictures as well now, of marching farmers being tear gassed at the Delhi-Ambala Shambhu border. Some farmers were detained after being tear gassed. Those were the pictures that came to us from earlier today. The Singhu border between Delhi and Haryana, meanwhile, has already been blocked. Farmers have been blocked from entering the national capital now from the Gurgaon side as well. Farmer leaders are saying they have come prepared with rations and supplies for the next 6 months. So if the government thinks that they can stop them with these tear gas and with spraying water on them, they are welcoming it, they say. We have all the time in the world. Let's see how much force the government of India puts against us. Listen in to some sound bites that came in.
अगर भाई ये लोकतंत्र है तो लोकतंत्र के अंदर हर व्यक्ति को अपनी बात रखने के साथ की हुई कमिटमेंट था सरकार की, और उन कमिटमेंट के ऊपर सरकार का ध्यान दिलवाने के लिए हमने बार बार डिमांड कार्ड दिए, बार बार इनको अलग अलग माध्यम से पहुंच करने का प्रयास किया, लेकिन सरकार ने आज तक उनके ऊपर कोई किसी तरह की भी सीरियसनेस नहीं दिखाई।
अपनी बात कहने का देश में सबको राइट है और सरकार उनकी बातचीत सुने। 2 दौर की मीटिंग हुई है तो सरकार फिर बात करे। जब 13 महीने में हमारी 14 दौर की वार्ता हुई सरकार से, तो अभी उनसे सरकार को बात करनी चाहिए। इशू सबके एक हैं, सेम इशू हैं। कोई एक दिन पहले चल गया, कोई एक दिन बाद में चल रहा है। हमारा 16 फरवरी को है ग्रामीण भारत बंद का है, लेकिन पुलिस और जो प्रशासन सरकार जो अत्याचार कर रही है, दीवारें खींचना, उनको रोकना, गांव में अनाउंसमेंट करवाना, उनके ऊपर केस रजिस्टर करना, वो गलत है। उन सब में हम सब लोग साथ हैं। ना हमारे से किसान दूर है, ना हमारे से दिल्ली दूर है। हम सब निगाह बनाए हुए रखे हैं। ये पूरा एक गिरफ्तारी भी आंदोलन का हिस्सा है। कल वहां से करीब 200 से 250 लोग कल तक अरेस्ट हुए हैं। उसमें कर्नाटक के किसान हैं और अपने संगठन के एसकेएम के, वो भी करीब 200 लोग से ज्यादा हैं, उनकी गिरफ्तारी हुई है। तो उसके बाद में देखते हैं, हमने कहा कि किसी का कोई बेल नहीं करवानी अभी यहाँ के बाद में, और उनको शाम तक और कल तक देखेंगे। देखो, अगर उन किसानों के साथ में छेड़खानी करी, उनके साथ में कोई भी बल प्रयोग करा, तो पूरा देश का किसान फिर इकट्ठा है। उनको जाने दे, जहां वे जाए। ये तो बातचीत से समाधान करो या उनको बैठने दो। इससे अलग कोई भी काम होगा तो देश में फिर बड़े आंदोलन होंगे।
Okay, before I go to my reporters at the Singhu border and the Tikri border, I want you to take a look closely at what happened in the Shambhu border earlier today, where tear gas was sprayed on them via drones. Take a look at this. Let me go across to Priyank, who's joining us from the Singhu border. We have Isha, who's joining us from the Tikri border. Remember, these are the borders that had become the epicenter of protests 2 years ago, and those protests had lasted for a year. The farmers this time, Isha, telling us that they have come prepared for 6 months. You are at the Tikri border. Show us how the borders are looking, how Delhi's borders are looking right now.
Right, yes, Shreya. The farmers have stated that they will be coming prepared for the next 6 months in order to stay there and make sure the government listens to them. Currently, I am at Tikri border where the barricading is still incomplete. In fact, layers and layers of barricading is being added. I request my camera person to zoom towards that. These barricades are also covered with barbed wires, and not just one layer of them. There are multiple layers of wires that have been placed. But on our screens right now is that there is just one. This is just one layer of barricading that we can see. Behind us, there is another cemented barricade that has been placed with again barbed wires, and again on the other side of that there is further concrete that has been added. So there are about 4 layers of security that is protecting this border behind me. But not just that, there are multiple trucks that have also been placed here. These trucks, these are heavy duty trucks that have been placed across across this particular border. In fact, there are also sacks that are placed which do contain mud, which further make it harder for these trucks to be able to move behind. In fact, not just one truck, this entire lane is filled with trucks, and the police patrolling is also currently underway. We also saw that a very small portion of the barricading is open for the common public to pass, considering that it is a weekday and it is a hectic day, and for a few hours this has remained open, and we can see that passerbys and the general public is passing through. But the police is still at it to barricade all of this. But throughout the day we saw massive patrolling take place. We also saw that several police officers, several senior police officers and BSF officers were also here to make sure that if in case the farmers end up reaching the border, they cannot pass through. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Isha, for that report from the Tikri border. Ladies and gentlemen, Isha is also, she's not just showing you the police bandobast, and the police on record is now saying that we have learned from our mistakes last time, and this time we will not be on the defensive, whatever that means. But ladies and gentlemen, in Isha's report, did you see the inconvenience that is being caused to common citizens of Delhi? That is what protests do. Any protest of this scale. Farmers have a right to protest. Delhi is their national capital as well. It is India's national capital. They have a right to protest in the national capital. But when they come with their tractors, when they come in such large numbers, what it means is that citizens of Delhi get inconvenienced. It becomes a nightmare for them to go from place A to place B. Priyank, my colleague, is joining us on the broadcast as well. He is joining us from the Singhu border. Priyank, as we speak, my estimation, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that the farmers have still not managed to reach either Tikri border or Singhu border. But the bandobast is there. What is the Delhi police telling you? And what is the Singhu border looking like right now?
Between the Singhu border to the Shambhu border. The tear shells are still being lobbed on them. Many of them have been injured also, but what we are getting to know that they have arranged their langar and they will be staying put there. But on the other side, since the call is specifically about Chalo Delhi, that's why the Delhi police has done all the best possible measure, because last time also they managed to stop these farmers still here. And these cranes and these workers are still working day and night to have these multi-layers of barricades. And in fact, most of these barricades, concrete blocks have been once again put in with fresh concrete, which is being used by them to stop any kind of further movement. You can see in the deployment where the Delhi police have already done a massive deployment of paramilitary forces. The Commissioner of Police himself was also here, and the senior officials have very specifically told the staff that by any means we have to stop them, whether it takes us to use tear shells, lathi charge, anything best possible is needed. That will be done on the ground, but by anyhow we are not allowing these farmers who were called mad people by the senior officials in the briefing to allow to move towards the national capital. Certainly, the economy is also one of the most important factor, because Delhi runs the country, and any business houses, any offices which is getting affected because of the inconvenience which is being caused specifically by the farmers will be a huge loss. Remember this particular stretch of the road, Shreya, which was blocked for 1 year.
Can I ask you a question?
And on both the sides we have factories, small... Yes, sure.
I just quickly want to ask you a question. In your
making an announcement for his staff, and we were here, and in that announcement he said that ye paglo ki tarah harkat karenge, lekin hame salike se ne rokna hai. So these were the words.
Okay, thank you, Priyanka. I'm glad you clarified that. Thank you very much. So both the Tikri border and the Singhu border in Delhi right now are bracing for the storm to come. The storm has still not come. As Priyanka is pointing out, the farmers are still some 200 kilometers away, because right now they have been stopped at the Haryana-Punjab border, which is the Shambhu border. Now, there's politics playing there as well, because Haryana is saying that Punjab has deliberately let farmers come into Haryana and then march all the way to Delhi. Punjab could have stopped them, but Haryana says they deliberately let them move forward. The High Court has something to say about that as well. As Delhi turns into a fortress, the Punjab and Haryana High Court has made some comments. In fact, they've stepped in. The court has called for a balance between fundamental rights of farmers and citizens. It has also stressed that the use of force should be the last resort. The Delhi police, though, says they will not be defensive this time. The High Court will now be taking up the matter on February 15th. Now, with Kisan Kranti making headlines once again, that too in an election year, could the politicians be far behind? You know the answer to that question. The opposition has backed the farmer protests, saying that farmers are fighting for their rights. West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, in fact, today decried the firing of tear gas shells at farmers. She's calling it the BJP's brutal assault on cultivators. The Delhi government, meanwhile, has refused the centre's request to convert the Bhavana Stadium into a makeshift jail. Arvind Kejriwal says the centre can't jail annadatas. But the Congress's Rahul Gandhi has gone a step further. He has given his own guarantee for MSP if the Congress comes to power. This from Chhattisgarh, where the Congress has just faced a very humiliating defeat. Earlier, the Congress party had called the detention of farmers illegal and claimed that the blockades at Delhi's borders is more than those being seen at the China and Pakistan border. Listen in.
किसानों को लीगल राइट MSP की मिलनी चाहिए, वो बीजेपी की सरकार नहीं कर रही। तो मैं आपको यहां जो खारगे जी ने कहा उसको दोहराना चाहता हूं कि इंडिया की सरकार
condemn these arrests by other state governments when they are going to protest against the central government. They are expressing solidarity with with the farmer fraternity, and I think the detention is completely illegal, and they need to answer why they are doing this. If you see the blockades that is happening, the cement blocks that are being put up, it looks like the deployment is more in Delhi border than in China or Pakistan border. So the government of India needs to answer. If they are so confident that they have fulfilled the promises of the farmers, why aren't they able to negotiate with them? Why are they able to talk to them? Why do you need such heavy deployment at the capital's border? This agitation itself shows that the last 10 years have been a disaster for farmers.
Now, the BJP has been largely mum on the story. Some, though, in Haryana are seeing this as a political conspiracy against Prime Minister Modi. Cabinet Minister Anurag Thakur, in fact, is asking Rahul Gandhi that why wait for the India Alliance to come to power? Why don't you guarantee MSP under law in states that are ruled by the Congress?
दिल्ली जाने के लिए अड़े हुए हैं तो वो समझ से परे की बात है कि किस लिए दिल्ली जाना चाहते हैं। ऐसा लगता है कि इनका मकसद कुछ और है।
सर, स्थिति को संभालने के लिए क्या क्या सरकार की तरफ
नहीं, पूरी तरह से तैयारियां हैं। हम शांति भंग नहीं होने देंगे और मेरा तो इनको ये कहना है कि ये अपनी कॉल को विड्रॉ करें, वापस लें अपनी कॉल को। और बातचीत के लिए अभी भी मुंडा जी कह रहे हैं, बार बार सरकार कह रही है कि हम तैयार हैं, तो बातचीत से ही हल निकलेगा। कोई दिल्ली पर जहाँ हरियाणा पर हमला करके तो हल नहीं निकलेगा। हल तो बातचीत करे और सरकार तैयार है। सरकार खुद पहली बार है कि दिल्ली से चल के यहाँ आई है, तो दिल्ली में जाके ये किसको सुनाना चाहते हैं?
देखिए, कांग्रेस एक बार नहीं कई बार फेल हुई और कांग्रेस की गारंटियां भी फेल हुई। और श्रीमान राहुल गांधी जहां गारंटी देकर आते हैं वहां 5 साल अपना चेहरा नहीं दिखाते हैं। मैं चाहता हूं कि राहुल जी देश के सामने आंकड़े रखें ना कि मोदी सरकार ने कितना गुना ज़्यादा यूपीए की सरकार से किया है। ये मोदी की गारंटी है जो देश में चलती है, कांग्रेस की फेल होती है।
Now, farmers are back on the streets with their tractors. They have a list of 15 demands, but the make or break ask is a law on MSP, which means essentially that farmers are asking the government to legally guarantee a minimum support price for all crops. Is that a reasonable ask? Is it even fiscally feasible? You've seen these pictures through the day today. Now take a look at some numbers. Right now, the government gives MSP for 24 crops it procures. These are crops that the government essentially procures for PDS, the public distribution system. So the government claims we are already procuring crops worth 2.5 lakh crore annually. That figure is on the right side. The government also says if we are to meet the farmers' demands and buy all crops under MSP, then that would cost the exchequer 10 lakh crore rupees. So they're spending 2.5 lakh crore rupees already for MSP. They say if farmers' demands are to be met and if we buy all crops under MSP, 10 lakh crore rupees is the cost annually. That is roughly the same amount of money that has been allocated to build infrastructure across the country in the interim budget. Now, the government has also given out figures to suggest that it has actually doubled MSP for farmers in the last 10 years of Modi's rule. Let's quickly take these numbers to our guests who are joining me this evening and ask them if the protests are merely arm-twisting tactics or a reasonable ask. My guest this evening, Pradeep Mahar, leader of the BJP. Binod Anand is a member of the Prime Minister's MSP committee, joining us on the broadcast. Gunavant Patil is secretary, All India Kisan Coordination Committee. And Ghanshyam Tiwari is spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. I'm going to go to the person who's representing the farmer community on the show this evening. Mr. Gunavant Patil, thank you very much for joining us. Savit Malik is the national president of the Kisan Union. He is joining us on the broadcast as well. Gentlemen, 5 of you here. Thank you very much. I think I should go to the national president of the Kisan Union first. Mr. Malik, good evening. I hope you are well. सवाल सिंपल है, सरकार ने भेजे हैं आंकड़े और सरकार कह रही है किसान तो अपनी मांग रख रही है, गारंटी करने के लिए एक लॉ लेके आई है, लेकिन पैसा कौन भरेगा? 10 लाख करोड़ रुपए कहां से आएंगे? अगर हर क्रॉप को सरकार एमएसपी के अंदर खरीदे तो उसका जो टोटल खर्चा है दैट इज 10 लाख करोड़ रुपीस, रफली इक्वल टू इंडियाज एनुअल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बजट। इतना पैसा सरकार लाएगी कहां से? धन्ना सेठ तो है नहीं सरकार।
श्रेया जी, जो आपको इन्होंने आंकड़े भेजे हैं और जो ये बातें कर रहे हैं, पूरे देश को गुमराह करने वाली बात है। किसान नहीं कह रहा कि आप एमएसपी पे खरीदिए, किसान की मांग है कि आप मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस जो सरकार तय करती है उसको किसान तय नहीं करता है। एमएसपी का मतलब होता है मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस, वो सरकार तय करती है। आप इतना कर दीजिए कि जो सरकार ने मिनिमम रेट घोषित किया है उससे कम कोई ना खरीदे। सरकार को खरीदने की बात नहीं कह रहे हम,
ठीक है,
कोई भी खरीदे। अब आपने तेल का भाव कर दिया कि 90 रुपए डीजल खरीदना है, उससे कम कोई खरीद ही नहीं सकता। तो किसान की फसल क्यों कम बिकती है? मिनिमम पे है। दूसरी जो आंदोलन की बात आई है, आंदोलन की बात इसलिए आई है, जब 13 महीने हमने आंदोलन किया, इन्होंने हमसे झूठ बोलकर वादे कर कर हमको उठा दिया। 26 महीने हमने इंतजार किया, बार बार इनको याद दिलाया, कभी इन्होंने बात करना नहीं चाहा। 26 महीनों में हमने इनको फिर बताया, 6 महीने पहले बता दिया कि अगर आप हमारी बात नहीं सुनोगे हम 13 फरवरी को दिल्ली आएंगे। 13 फरवरी का समय हमने क्यों रखा? क्योंकि इस बीच इनके सारे सत्र, लास्ट सत्र मानसून सत्र था, इसके बाद सरकार चुनाव में आ जाएगी, यानी कि अब ये कुछ नहीं करेंगे। हमने इनको सारे मौके दिए, सब कुछ दिया, ना इन्होंने बजट में कुछ किया, ना इन्होंने मानसून सत्र में किया, ना शीत सत्र में किया। 26 महीने में कोई वार्ता नहीं की। अब ये कहते हैं कि हमको समय चाहिए। अरे हम तो समय दे रहे हैं, पहले भी आपने समय लिया, 13 महीने बैठे रहे। जब 7 दौर की बातचीत हुई, आपको याद होगा, इन्होंने कहा था हमने पराली पत्ती वाला कानून, एक सेकंड सुन लीजिए, पराली पत्ती वाला कानून और बिजली अधिनियम वापस ले लिया। कहा था, पूरा देश जानता है, 7 दौर की बाद में वो आज भी लागू है। हम कह रहे जो आपने वादे किए थे, हमारी कोई नई मांग नहीं है, कोई डिमांड नहीं है। जो इन्होंने हमसे वादे किए हैं और जो कहा ये देंगे वही हम मांग रहे हैं जी।
अच्छा, ठीक है। विनोद आनंद, you are a member of the Prime Minister's MSP committee. Mr. Savit Malik is saying, don't give us these figures that the government has given out via sources to tell us that we are asking them to procure every crop that the farmer, irrespective of whether the government is buying it or the public sector or the private sector is buying it, everyone pays MSP to farmers. What's the harm in that? Can that be done? Can that not be done? Because you know, what Mr. Malik seems to be suggesting is that the government is misleading us by giving us these figures.
Shreya, very good evening to all of everyone in the panel. See, the issue is not of 10,000 crore and 14,000 crore or 15,000 crore. Our Honorable Prime Minister can do anything for the farmers and the farming community. That is not the issue. The issue is that from what you want to do and from where you want to do the MSP, for whom you want to do MSP, and what you want to buy. Do you want to do only the FRP, what the sugarcane industry is enjoying, or do you want all those commodities who are traded well in the commodities various markets? Only for that? See, there are India consists of 14 crores of farmers, not 1.5 and 2 crores who belong to Punjab and Haryana. We do also have right from Bihar, from Uttar Pradesh, from Maharashtra, and from other part of the country like Northeast and everyone. So it's a very complex issue. We grow 593 variety of paddy. Why only on 2? So my point is that if we want to give MSP to every farmer, we need to keep a system at grassroots. We need to create a network where the farmers grain can be bought with a proper infrastructure. Not just like that. For food security thing, you buy everything from Punjab and Haryana and forget the other farmers. This farmers movement and these farmers people who are here.
I'm going to complete your point.
Yeah, these farmers are basically politically motivated, and they are not speaking for farmers. They are speaking for some different political parties who are having this different vendetta. And it's a kind of vendetta politics which they are doing. They are representing the state government and the political parties who does not belong to the nation. He belongs to Sheesh Mahal, and he belongs to some other part of the world where he do not support the establishment and want everything from establishment. So why
Okay.
they
So,
cannot
Mr.
be done
Anand,
in
you're telling
Punjab?
me two
Why
things.
what he has done for Punjab? Why farmers of Punjab are angry?
ठीक है. Okay, just fix the MSP, and then whether you are buying it, whether a private player is buying it, it doesn't matter. They will have to pay us MSP. तो वो सरकार क्यों नहीं करना चाहती? That is a question that you have not answered. सबसे पहले. Secondly, you are telling me that these farmers that we are seeing on our screens are actually not farmers. All of them are essentially workers of a political party, and this is a political message that they are sending out or carrying in an election year. Mr. Gunavant Patil, आप ही जवाब दे दीजिए.
देखिए, एमएसपी का जो भी सवाल आता है, जैसे मलिक साहब ने कहा कि सभी चीजें एमएसपी पे खरीदे। हाँ, सरकार खरीदेगी, जो खरीद रही है, पंजाब में खरीद रही है, हरियाणा में खरीद रही है। जैसे 23 कमोडिटी है, 23 कमोडिटी में कपास तो सरकार नहीं खरीद, सीसीआई से वो भी खरीदी करेगी, लेकिन बाकी चीजें नहीं खरीद सकते। सरकार खरीद के रखेगी कहाँ और क्या करेगी क्या उसका? तो हम ये चाहते हैं कि इसको ओपन मार्केट की जरूरत है, उसको ओपन करने की जरूरत है। जो 3 लॉ आए थे वो ओपन होने की तरफ हम लोग बढ़ रहे थे, लिबरलाइजेशन की तरफ बढ़ रहे थे या रिफॉर्म्स की तरफ बढ़ रहे थे, जो एग्रीकल्चर रिफॉर्म्स की जरूरत है, लेकिन यही लोगों ने विरोध किया।
ठीक है।
अभी जो मलिक साहब कह रहे हैं कि सरकार नहीं खरीदे तो ओपन मार्केट में अगर भाव गिर जाते हैं तो कोई बेवकूफ व्यापारी थोड़ा ही है कि भाव गिरने के बाद भी एमएसपी पे खरीदने के लिए। जब भी एमएसपी का प्रॉब्लम जब आ जाता है, जब मार्केट गिर जाता है, तभी एजिटेशन हो जाते हैं। तो मार्केट क्यों गिरता है? तो या तो सीजन के कारण या इंपोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट के कारण या कोई आपदे आती है, तभी मार्केट गिरता है। अगर मार्केट गिरा हुआ है और आप उसको जबरदस्ती से सोयाबीन जैसी फसल को आप जबरदस्ती से व्यापारियों को बोल रहे हो कि एमएसपी पे खरीदो, नहीं तो आपको जेल में डाल देंगे। कौन बेवकूफ है कि वो बोलेगा दुकान बंद करेगा, घर में रहे, जो भी खरीदी हो रहा है वो भी बंद हो जाएगी। तो ये एमएसपी पे खरीदो बोलने का या कंपलसरी करो या इसके ऊपर लॉ करने का जो डिमांड है वही गलत है। एक बात, एमएसपी किस लिए होनी चाहिए? एमएसपी एक मार्किंग पॉइंट है, एक इंडिकेटर है कि ये मार्केट चल रहा है, वर्ल्ड में क्या चल रहा है, हमारे पास क्या चल रहा है, प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट क्या है। ये तीनों का कैलकुलेशन करके ही एमएसपी डिसाइड की जाती है। लेकिन एमएसपी पे खरीदने का जो कंपल्सन आता है केवल गवर्नमेंट के, जो भी पीडीएस के लिए लगता है उसके ऊपर हम बोलते हैं कि भाई गवर्नमेंट खरीदनी चाहिए। लेकिन ओपन मार्केट में आप अगर जबरदस्ती करने जाएंगे तो मार्केट डिस्टॉर्ट हो जाएगा, पूरा मार्केट खत्म हो जाएगा। आज जो मार्केट है उससे भी बदतर अवस्था में मार्केट जाएगा, मुझे ऐसा लगता है।
गुड पॉइंट। साबित मलिक, आप जवाब दीजिए जरा इसका। मिस्टर पाटिल बड़ी एक समझदारी की बात कह रहे हैं, कि आप जोर जबरदस्ती नहीं कर सकते। प्राइवेट ट्रेडर तो अपने मर्जी से खरीदेगा। अगर आप जबरदस्ती उसको बोलोगे एमएसपी पे खरीदो, नहीं खरीदेगा वो, फिर क्या होगा?
अच्छा ये बताइए, मोबाइल रिचार्ज कराने को कोई जबरदस्ती कहता है? पेट्रोल खरीदने को कोई जबरदस्ती कहता है? हम कह रहे हैं अगर किसी को मिलेगा नहीं तो उस रेट तो खरीदेगा ही, सस्ता कहां से हो जाएगा? फिर आप एमएसपी क्यों घोषित करते हो? कह दो भैया एमएसपी कुछ नहीं है, जो मन हो जहां हो वो करें। अरे एमएसपी आप खुद तय कर रहे हो कि एमएसपी मिनिमम सपोर्ट प्राइस है और एमएसपी बहुत कम है, उसकी तो बात अभी हम कर ही नहीं रहे। आपने अभी स्वामीनाथन जी को भारत रत्न दिया, चौधरी चरण सिंह जी को दिया। अगर आप उनके नक्शे कदम पर चलना चाहती है सरकार, तो वो तो कहते हैं कि आप जो खर्चा हो रहा है उसका जोड़कर उसमें 50% लाभ दीजिए। अभी तो हम लाभ की बात ही नहीं कर रहे हैं। अभी तो हम ये कह रहे हैं कि जो आप तय कर रहे हो उसको दिलाने में क्या दिक्कत है, और जब जरूरत होगी तो हर आदमी खरीदेगा, क्यों नहीं खरीदेगा? आप तो उद्योगपतियों की भाषा बोल रहे हैं, उनकी बात कर रहे हैं। और खुद मोदी जी कैसे कह रहे थे, जब गुजरात के चीफ मिनिस्टर थे तब इन्होंने बोला था कि एमएसपी कानून लागू होना चाहिए, तब नहीं इनको पता था। आज प्रधानमंत्री बन गए तो इनको समझ में आ गया। और जब 13 महीने आंदोलन चला तब इन्होंने कहा हम आपको एमएसपी देंगे, तब क्यों झूठा आश्वासन दे दिया? अब परसों इनके मंत्रियों ने बात की, कल 2 दौर की बातचीत चली, उसमें भी कह रहे हैं हाँ हम कर देंगे, हम दे देंगे, लेकिन कानून बनाने की बात नहीं कह रहे, लिखित में देने की बात नहीं कह रहे। देखो ये सब बरगलाने वाली बात है। अगर किसान घाटे की खेती कर रहा है, आप यूरिया पे तो सब्सिडी कम कर रहे हैं, डीजल का रेट आपने 55 से 90 रुपए कर दिया, बिजली के भाव बढ़ा दिए, यूरिया की बोरी 50 किलो की आती थी, पहले उससे 5 किलो यूरिया चोरी किया, इस सरकार ने 45 किलो की कर दी। अभी 3 महीने पहले 5 किलो यूरिया फिर चोरी कर लिया, अब 40 किलो की कर दी। रेट वही का वही है। अरे किसान आत्महत्या करे, किसान कहाँ जाए, कुछ तो बताए सरकार। किसान गरीबी रेखा से नीचे जी रहा है।
मिस्टर
एक तरफ
मलिक,
कहते हैं भारत विश्व गुरु बन रहा है, विश्व गुरु बन रहा है,
मैं दो चीजें बोलूंगी।
80 करोड़ लोगों को हम मुफ्त
मैं
अनाज
दो
बांट
चीजें
रहे हैं।
बोलूंगी। नहीं, मैं दो चीजें बोलूंगी। आपने कहा कि सरकार तो उद्योगपतियों की लैंग्वेज बोल रही है। मिस्टर पाटिल उद्योगपतियों की लैंग्वेज यूज कर रहे हैं। मैं आपसे एक चीज कहना चाहूंगी, किसान इस देश का अहम हिस्सा है, वो हमारे अन्नदाता हैं, उनको फुल रिस्पेक्ट है, किसान को रिस्पेक्ट है, जवान को रिस्पेक्ट है। लेकिन ऐसा तो नहीं है कि अगर हम किसान की रिस्पेक्ट करें और जवान की रिस्पेक्ट करें तो हम उद्योगपति की रिस्पेक्ट नहीं करें। ये कहां पे किस कानून में लिखा है दैट अ फार्मर कम्स बिफोर अ व्यापारी? मिस्टर मलिक, आप मुझे बताइए, क्या
दिया किसान ने कोई आपत्ति करी? आपने इतना करोड़ लोन उनका माफ कर दिया, आपने करी। उसका 1% अगर किसान का कर देते, जो देश की रीढ़ है, जो देश को खिला रहा है, तो आपका क्या चला जाता? आप पूछिए इनसे, कितने करोड़ लाख, 14 लाख करोड़ का उनका उद्योगपतियों का लोन माफ कर दिया, कितने किसानों का किया? उनको कह रहे हैं हम कर्जा दे रहे हैं, हम कर्जा दे रहे हैं। अरे हर किसान को कर्जदार बना रहे हो, उनकी जमीन छीनने का प्लान बना रहे हो। ये नहीं चलेगा। किसान अपना अधिकार लेगा, अपनी लड़ाई लड़ेगा हर वक्त।
ठीक है, प्रदीप माहौर, you're from the BJP. Would you want to respond, to the charges that are coming against the Modi government?
What Savit is saying, what I understood from this discussion is, he wants MSP to be converted to minimum purchase price. This is what he's trying to say. No, this is a big confusion. As far as MSP is concerned, MSP is the support price, means the product that is purchased by the government for public distribution system, and definitely it affects the market. When government is purchasing at certain fixed price, so definitely it affects the prices and the market goes somewhere around it. What he's saying that fix the minimum price, which is practically impossible. If you are going to fix the minimum price, it will spoil the complete market. I mean, whole market psychology will be dumbed down. No, it will be something like it will be against the farmers. The reason is, if say for example there is a price drop at some point in time, and that time government has fixed the prices, then if the produce is not purchased by the traders, then what is going to happen? Ultimately, farmers will not have any market at all. So this is a complete confusion, and this cannot be done at all.
The input costs. It was Prime Minister Modi. Did he promise out of charity? No, he wanted to attract votes. Did the farm leaders promise that they want a doubling of their income by 2022? No, it was Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister. Has it doubled? No. Did the farm leaders promise that the diesel will be at 50 rupees? No, it was Mr. Modi. Where is the diesel price? So consistently you have raised the input costs of the farmers. You have played with import exports in a way that benefits certain crony capitalists, that affects the agriculture trade. You started in 2015 right after a majority vote to usurp the land by black laws with respect to land acquisition. You continue with 3 black laws that you said we had taken nearly 1 crore of signatures. That's what then Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad said, and later media reported that the laws were cooked by some corporates. So consistently you have hoodwinked the farmers. That's point one. Point two, are the farmers throwing these shells on themselves? Are the farmers going around with loudspeakers that will beat you up? We will put false cases against you? No, it was the Haryana BJP government. So you have turned your a popular democracy into Hitler Shahi, and you have turned yourself into a General Dyer model. It's not the making of farmers. Final point to every one of your viewers. If you are asked who is the agriculture minister of the country, every single viewer that you have has to Google. This government has demolished the agriculture ministry.
Yeah.
Nobody knows who the agriculture minister is. You cannot have part-time agriculture ministers in a country where you want the votes of the farmers, and then you want to bomb, to throw tear gas at them, beat them by lathis, and then call them Khalistanis, call them names, and 700 farmers were martyred. Did a single guy from the government go to their house? Did anybody shed tears? The answer is no. BJP has given 14,56,226 crores as write-offs to its crony capitalists. What have they given to the farmers? So clearly BJP has no case. They have decided to hoodwink the farmers, beat them up, put them on cases, and do all kinds of atrocities, and then they want opposition to answer.
Okay. Binod Anand, I'll give you the last word. You, in the beginning of the show, accused the farmers of being political workers, implementing the agenda of the opposition in an election year. Respond to what Ghanshyam Tiwari is saying.
Why the three members of Sanयुkt Kisan Morcha have not joined the committee? Number one, they have been invited after the promises made by the government. Number one. नंबर 2 इन लॉ
किसान बोल रहा है हम तो 26 महीने से बात कर रहे हैं किसान इसको तो लटकाना बोलते हैं ना दैट यू आर बाइंग टाइम किसान बोल रहे हैं हम तो 26 महीने से बात कर रहे हैं हम परेशान हो गए 6 महीने पहले हमने बोल दिया था दिस इज व्हाट वी विल डू
तो 26 महीने पहले से तो हम लोगों ने भी इनको कहा है कि आप आइए कमेटी में 18 जुलाई को गजेटियर नोट में तो आमंत्रण था 3 संयुक्त किसान मोर्चा के सदस्यों को कि जैसे हम लोग कमेटी में बैठ के चर्चा कर रहे हैं वैसे आप भी आएं और किसानों की बात रखें आपकी जो बात है रखें तो इनको शांति प्रिय तरीके से संवैधानिक तरीके से बात रखने में तो दिक्कत होती है और इस तरीके से सड़क पे हंगामा करके दिल्ली को जाम करके लोगों को परेशान करना इनको अच्छा लगता है तो अगर ऐसा ही करना है तो इस देश में कानून व्यवस्था कैसे ठीक की जाती है उसकी जानकारी इस मोदी सरकार में इनको दे दी जाएगी अगर किसान आए बातचीत करने के लिए दोनों हाथों से खुले बाहों से उनका स्वागत है और यदि वो हंगामा करने आएंगे तो उनका फिर उसी तरीके से उपाय किया जाएगा जैसे एक उपद्रवियों के साथ किया जाता है जो लॉ एंड ऑर्डर को मेंटेन ना करेंगे उनके साथ वही उपाय किया जाएगा किसानों तक जहां तक की बात है ये 14 लाख करोड़ की अगर 28 लाख करोड़ की आवश्यकता होगी उसकी भी व्यवस्था की जाएगी आप कैसे कह सकते हैं उपद्रवी नहीं है
नहीं तो
तलवारबाजी हो रही है
ये उपद्रवी तो नहीं है ना
आपके पास तो वीडियो है मैं हाथ जोड़ करके उनसे आग्रह कर रहा हूं
वो मैंने देखा
उपद्रवी नहीं है तो तलवारबाजी क्यों हो रही है
वो मैंने देखा वो एक वीडियो है लेकिन ये देश के किसान हैं ये उपद्रवी नहीं है ये प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं इसको देखिए उनकी प्रोटेस्ट जायज है नाजायज है वो दूसरी बात है बट इन इंडिया एवरीवन हैज द डेमोक्रेटिक राइट ए टू प्रोटेस्ट एंड बी टू कम टू देयर नेशनल कैपिटल ये नेशनल कैपिटल आपकी और मेरी नहीं है सिर्फ ये नेशनल कैपिटल हर भारतीय
नेशनल कैपिटल बिहार के किसानों की भी है और उत्तर प्रदेश के किसानों की भी है
you should not be stopping them. You should not be stopping them. That is wrong. Again, as I said, the jury is divided on whether their demands are just or not. We can have a debate about that. But there can be no debate about the fact that farmers have a democratic right to protest. They have a democratic right to protest in India's national capital because this capital is as much theirs as it is ours. We leave it there. I'm sure कल भी यही बहस होगी because the farmers have said हम 6 महीने के लिए आए हैं कहीं जा नहीं रहे So Binod Anand, thank you very much for joining us. Pradeep Mahor, thank you very much. Mr. Gunavant Patil, thank you very much. Ghanshyam Tiwari, good to have you on the show. And Mr. Malik, thank you. कल बात करेंगे. Thank you very much. I have to go to the Prime Minister speaking in, speaking at a public function in the UAE. Let's quickly cut across to that.